For me, I think it's always really important to keep strategy as simple as possible. I always follow 4 rules. That's the why, the when, the what and the who. And I think as long as you follow those 4 rules, you can't go far wrong. The why are you doing this? What are your key objectives? What are your drivers going to be? The when, is now the right time to do it? When would be the best time to launch this product, to launch your opportunity? Whatever it is you're going to do, is now the right time? Is the economic climate with you? What are you going to do? Have you got the infrastructure to deliver it? What are you going to drive through? And finally, who? Who is this targeted at? Do you need to profile your market, look at your segment? Who are you going to sell this to, and who is it going to appeal to? And I think if you keep those 4 pillars really good and solid foundations to build your objectives on, I think strategy should stay that simple. It is effectively an elaborate operating plan, and I think if you keep it that straightforward, you can't go far wrong. I think probably the most common problem that we come across is how companies, big or small, identify what they want their strategy to be and then how they take it forward. I think it's very easy to get into a business, you do what you do it well, but how do you look at what potentially the next big thing is? How do you address market conditions as they move? So I think we probably advise most of the time about how to set strategy or how to manage time to set strategy and make sure that you build it on facts and not on a whim. I've worked with so many companies that say, oh, do you know what, that seems like a good idea, let's just go and do it. But actually, you need to base it on more than a gut hunch. So to take some information, take some research, take some time out, and then also how to transfer that into sales. Ultimately, it's great having the best plan in the world, but if you're not going to deliver some sales on the back of it, it doesn't mean anything. So how are you going to translate that out to the market? Who are you trying to target? And how are you going to turn that into sales with some really clear key performance indicators to make certain that people know what they're doing and everyone comes on that journey with you? And I think that's probably where I see most businesses struggle and where most advice can be useful. For me, I think it's securing in twofold. I think one is securing new customers coming in, but one's also absolutely stopping attrition and making sure that you retain your customer base. On the Pareto principle of 80-20, it's really, really important to keep those fundamental customers coming back time and time again. I've actually just written a small sales and marketing paper which effectively is spend again, which stands for the 10 key points on how to get your customers to spend again. They include things like member get member to get new customers coming in, but also securing those guys. How do you take them on the journey with you? If you're providing something that is age specific, how do you grow with that client, or how do you potentially use that data to give to other customers that can use that data to make money from that? So how do you look at every business opportunity moving forward? And I think fundamentally, if you can do that, you can secure customers by moving with them and enjoying that customer journey. I think the most important thing underneath all of that is just be the best at what you do. You absolutely have to deliver to your customers every single time. And I think if you take the time out, understand what you would want from their perspective, then I think you can't go wrong. Keep an eye on your competitors and make sure you're better.
Good.
Well, for me, I'd have to recommend the dice matrix model. It would be rude of me not to. So I believe that all good businesses should be built on solid foundations, and I think ultimately, whether it's quantitative research or qualitative research, it should be based on fact. And I think most of the mistakes I've made in business, most of the mistakes I see others make in business, is where it's done on a quick whim, a hunch, a gut feeling, and not based on something that's really, really structural. So the dice matrix works by asking your customers one set of questions, your employee ergonomically written questions that are exactly the same. They solicit the same response, and you piece them together and you get some gap analysis from it, and from that it drives a strategic business positioning to enable to roll it up and take out your opportunities, your risks, and address those accordingly. But whether you use a simple PEST or a SWOT or any form of research, I just think it's really important to be able to understand what drives your customers to you, what drives your customers to your competitors, and what makes your employees happy. And you know, a happy employee is a good work environment. So I think as long as you base your business on fact, you can't go far wrong. I think the key to anybody's success is absolutely just trying again, never giving up. I think as long as there's a tiny little glimpse of it being a success, it's worth going for. I think where people go wrong is they throw the towel in too soon, they just walk away from it, and you'll never succeed if it doesn't exist. So as long as it's there, there's a chance to get up, to do it again. And I've made loads of mistakes. I've made some terrible, terrible faux pas, but I've never made the same mistake twice. And I think if you look across the board, certainly all the people I admire work-wise and am aspirational to be like, they've all fallen, they've all got back up, dusted themselves off and got on again. They just don't make the same mistakes again. So I think for me, it's been about understanding what's important, about setting myself really strict goals, putting them into time frames. But if they look like they're about to work and they haven't yet, I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep going.